Every new year, we all have to make a decision. Whether we think about it or not, we all feel pressure to set goals for the new year. These have become known as resolutions. We often look at things in our life that we feel could be improved, and we set goals to make them better. Maybe some of you immediately think of school. You set a goal to get a certain GPA. Maybe it's your health, where you say, I want to lose this many pounds by the end of the year. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe if I'm dating this person by the end of the year. Or maybe if I make better friends that help me make better decisions, then I'll be happy. Do you know what a lot of us do? And maybe you've done this already. But we look at our lives and we say, if I had more Jesus in my life, then everything would be better. And then we start to make a New Year's resolution that looks a lot like this. But guess what? We're going to suggest something different over the next 3 weeks here at Club. Now bear with me because this may seem kind of crazy, but we're going to suggest that you don't put Jesus first. Don't put Jesus first, because when you do, you can start to end up with a list like this. And think about what that really means. We are making Jesus something separate than everything else. We put him in a box, and guess what? It's easy to live life with boxes. The school box, the social box, the activity box, the church box, the family box. And when that happens, some of them become more important than others. Sometimes it changes. Think about it. Summertime, my friends become more and more important. Depressed, I'm going to start going to church more. Beginning of the school year. My grades matter more than anything. Are your musical auditions coming up? Now you'll have no time for your church or friends. You see, when we list Jesus as number one, we think we're making a wise decision. But really, we're just taking Jesus out of everything else in our lives and letting him live in a box of his own. In Paul's letter to the Colossians, he says this: "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. Whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn among the dead, so that in everything he might have the supremacy. For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross." You guys, Jesus wasn't meant to be just a spot or priority in our life. You see, when it comes to ordering our lives this year, what if it looked like, instead of being Jesus then our friendships, Jesus then our relationships, what if it was Jesus in all of these things? That means our New Year's resolutions will look more like this. Jesus in my schoolwork, Jesus in my relationships, Jesus in my family. What would it look like if you didn't make Jesus first in your life, but you made him the center of your life? I believe that can change the way the next 365 days of your life looks. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to look at strategies on how to make Jesus the center of everything that's important to you in your life. And we're going to see God take you to a new level.